there! Welcome to my presentation on how to achieve a high score on the ACT or SAT Math using the Math Cheat Code in the next 12 weeks. My name is Michelle Koo and let's get started. Who is this for? You're probably asking. Well, this is for parents of students or you yourself if you're the student taking the ACT or SAT Math who want their child or yourself to enter the dream university. Parents who are worried their child is not getting the right support at school with their math or want them to reach new heights with additional support because you can never have too much support, right? Parents who value their child's education and want them to build a bright future and career, right? Because as we all know, math is very applicable in a lot of fields these days and is really important to at least get the basics down to a T. This is also for parents who are prepared to invest the time, energy, and effort to help their child secure a high score and enter their dream university, as well as parents who are looking for a clear and actionable plan to help their child stay motivated to enjoy learning math, right? So if you're one of these, come along. Here's what you will learn in today's presentation. We have 3 goals. First goal, how to measure progress without waiting for school exams to help your child identify and improve knowledge gaps. Here's why it's so important. Without knowing where your child or you yourself, if you're the student, are standing as you're going through your school's curriculum, you don't know by the time you take a test if you actually understand the concept and know how to apply it efficiently, right? So now with our program here, we will help you to continuously reassess and where you are and help to identify the key areas that you need more improvements on. Now with the second goal, it's how to retain key knowledge after every lesson to enhance study skills and cognitive thinking. By being able to retain key knowledge and stuff, we would be able to, or at least your child will be able to answer the questions more efficiently and confidently, which is key to getting those top grades on the ACT and SAT math section, right? Now, the third goal is learning the best strategies to answer the key questions that secure the top marks in their exams that aren't taught in school. Now, this is really important on the path to getting those top grades. Now, before we continue on, let's make an agreement. I promise you to show you in this training how to achieve a high grade on the ACT or SAT math using the Math Cheat Code in the next 12 weeks. Here's how. You will actually need to take action on what I share next. Are you ready? Now, if you're wondering why your child isn't seeing the progress you want them to at school, right? I know that's very frustrating because you've already invested so much time and resources and money in trying to get your child to get those top grades that you want them to achieve in order to enter their dream university, right? Or you feel frustrated because you don't have the time or knowledge or patience to help. And this is key, to helping them ensure they get the top grades that are necessary to enter their dream university. Or it just seems as if it's impossible to get them to enjoy math, which makes it more tiring, more annoying for them, your child, or you yourself if you're the student, when you're trying to learn the concepts of math efficiently, right? And the last one is, if you're wondering why, you have even tried getting a tutor, but it's still not making a difference. I understand, that is the most frustrating because you're the first point we made, you have already invested so much resources into the stuff and yet you are not seeing results. That is very frustrating. I completely understand. And here's why I'm going to teach you how to resolve all these problems in a bit. But here, all these problems, they have a root cause, and we are going to see what these root causes are. Number one is relying on the school teacher. By relying on the school teacher, we're only getting one viewpoint on the concepts that are being taught in school. Now, if you look at professional athletes, what makes them so successful, you ask? They have many viewpoints that have aided them in tracking their progress and securing their path towards success. Athletes, they hire many people on their team. There are many resources such as a personal trainer, strength and conditioning coach, a sports psychologist, an athletic trainer, maybe even a nutritionist, maybe even a secondary coach aside from their main coach. Now, as you can see, they're not relying on just their main coach. They are relying on other viewpoints, all these other people that are on their team that will help guide them and form an actionable plan to help them become successful in their sport. Now, the same thing can be said about your child, right? If they are just relying on the school teacher, they're only getting that one viewpoint. They need several viewpoints, several resources in order to help them get those top grades in the ACT or SAT math, right? So relying on the school teacher, on solely the school teacher, is one of the reasons why your child may not be scoring on the ACT or SAT math yet. Next one is the winning environment, right? The same thing like I was talking about the athletes before. All these athletes, the one thing they have in common that has made them so successful is they have developed the winning environment. Now, if you look at the bottom, starting from the left, we have Serena Williams and Roger Federer. Both of these players are known as the greatest of all time tennis players that have recently retired this year in 2022. Now, if we look starting from the right, we have Carlos Alcaraz and Iga Swiatek. These two are the up and coming and current world number ones in tennis, right? Now, what do all these four have in common? They have developed the winning environment. They have hired all the right resources and people that have aided them to securing their sports success, right? Now, the same thing can be, again, said about your child or you yourself if you're the student. You want to develop that winning environment so that you have a secure path that will guide you towards scoring an A on the ACT or SAT math. Without this winning environment, it is going to be a tougher road to scoring on the ACT or SAT math and entering the dream university, right? The winning environment is like developing good study habits, developing a routine, discipline, and I'll go further into that in a bit. Now, the next thing of why these problems exist is study books and homework. Now, we can either do a lot of study books and homework, but if we are not understanding the basic underlying concept that is underneath all of these questions that your child is doing, right? They're still not going to understand the concepts or the question that they are asked to do. They could work hard, but if they don't understand, which is the underlying root cause, then they're not going to go anywhere, right? Now, what they would need, again, is a guidance, a secondary viewpoint that will help them to study smarter and more efficiently, that will aid them in scoring those A's in the ACT or SAT math. Now, before we get a little bit into the math cheat code, here's a little bit about myself. My name is Michelle Koo. I have 10 plus years in teaching math to students from elementary to the university level, and I have helped over 100 students achieve understanding and A's in math. And right now, with my math cheat code, I am here to help you or your child secure that A in the ACT or SAT math. If you're wondering, who is she? Well, here's a little bit about my experiences. Here are some feedback and testimonials from my previous students. Now, without further ado, let me introduce you to the math cheat code. With the math cheat code, essentially, what you really need is what we will dub the new way, the learning trifecta, which consists of strategy, habits, and environment. With strategy, it's the steps that you or your child need to take in order to secure that A in the ACT or SAT math, which we would teach you in the math cheat code. The second thing that consists of the trifecta is habits. Now, habits consist of like routine, discipline, making like a game plan and stuff to get you into that habit of developing that A, developing the concepts in a way that you would understand with our aid and guidance, right? And the last thing that we have in the learning trifecta is environment. Again, here at the math cheat code, we're going to help you develop an environment that will aid you or your child in scoring an A on the ACT or SAT math. Now, let's grab a pen and paper because this is really important. Now, in the math cheat code, there are 3 pillars. Let's go through the first pillar, which is locate. Now, with locating, most students are tested infrequently. The only times that they are tested is during test exams. And before that, as a result, they don't know where they stand before taking a test. They don't know what to actually focus on. So it's like kind of overwhelming, and they continue to consume information that is irrelevant, right? Kind of like a plane having no clear start point, so it can't fly. They need to know what key areas that they need to focus on in order to get better. Like I said, what they really need is a clear start point to know where they are located currently at and how to get better. Now, how is this done? This happens through reassessment and planning. When you know this, you can plan a clear route and focus that makes learning more straightforward. Developing, that game plan, that strategy, that habit, that environment that will help you or your child score those A's on the ACT or SAT math, right? Just like the pilot who knows he is starting at London Heathrow Airport and his destination is JFK. Now for the second pillar, accelerate. Now with accelerating, you probably wonder what that is. What is that, right? Now think about this. Schools have a curriculum to follow, which means they have to do things in a restrictive order. They're bounded by things that are already set. Your child can only learn at a certain pace based on the school's curriculum. Now, you're thinking, how can you ever get ahead your child if you can't ever see what is on the other side, or they don't know the material in advance, right? So this becomes like a roadblock from them accelerating, getting advanced in their curriculum, in the knowledge that they are wanting to pursue, right? So just as they have mastered one topic area, they are thrown something new. They're never in front of the curriculum, which can be a real setback in them scoring an A on the ACT or SAT math, right? It's like trying to find your way out of a maze that you are only seeing for the first time. It's difficult. Now, what students need is to learn the material ahead of time, right? So when it's introduced at school, they're already in front and it clicks immediately. the information just clicks easily to their brain and it goes boom, boom, boom for them. They have an easier time solving the questions, right? They want, by accelerating, right, by us helping your child or you accelerate, they would be in front of the pack. They will be one step ahead of the curriculum, right, which would ensure them of scoring an A in the ACT or SAT math, right? Just like the best sports team on the planet, they prepare to play certain tactics they know their opponents use. So when it happens in real life, they are already a few plays in front. And who wouldn't want to be in front of the pack? To be one step ahead of the curriculum. Am I right? Now, pillar 3, validate. With validating, think about this. Students are frequently taught the information they need to know, but actual performance indicators are too infrequent. Like I mentioned earlier in the first pillar, locate, right? They're only tested during exams itself. So they don't know the in between from test to test if they are understanding concepts and getting it efficiently, right? What matters most is progress and retention in your child's education to get that A and enter their dream university. Information without implementation can only lead to frustration, as they don't know where they stand. They don't know which key areas that they're lacking. It can become frustrating. Now imagine trying to lose weight and never checking the scales. You would have no idea on the success of the work you're putting in was having. It's very frustrating if you don't know where you stand without that validation of where you or your child are right now in your learning. What they really need is consistent performance indicators. Now, we do this through real-life testing of the actual exam-style questions they will face down the line. It helps build confidence, experience, and continues to identify weaknesses. So when the time comes, they know what to do. It also helps us to develop that game plan through reassessment and planning on which key areas your child or you need to focus on, right? And as they get more validation when they're doing questions, it's like an aha moment. They're able to retain the information better and use it more efficiently in the future, which is what you or your child want. That aha moment. Think about it. It's like if you were to jump into a cold swimming pool, it's uncomfortable at first, right? But once you have been exposed to the water for long enough and spent more time inside, it's no longer such a challenge. You want that aha moment, that validation. And so here's a quick recap. You want to locate the key areas that you or your child are currently needing more focus on in order to develop that game plan that will help you or your child secure a high grade in the ACT or SAT math. We want to accelerate their learning so that they're in front of the pack, in one step ahead of the curriculum, so that as they're learning the material in school, it's like an aha moment. It clicks easier. They are able to retain and apply and understand the concepts more confidently and efficiently. Lastly, validate. With validate, we want your child to have those reassessments and constant planning, that constant update of their game plan, so that they can receive the most help that will aid them in scoring the aha moment, so that they're able to score that A in the ACT or SAT math. With that validation, it boosts their confidence and they're optimistically more towards answering the harder exam questions, which would definitely aid them not only in entering the dream university, but in developing good traits and personality and characteristics for your future career and stuff. Have you been here the entire time? Congrats, right? Now we have talked about the 3 problems and the 3 pillars that will aid you or your child in getting that A. Let's move forward. Now, remember the agreement. If you're still here right now, you made a commitment to take action. Let's have a serious chat about how your child or you can start getting the guidance and help they need to score a high grade on the ACT or SAT math and enter their dream university. Let's build them a clear roadmap so they at least know what to focus on. And if it makes sense, we can even talk about what it would look like to work together. If you're into all that, book your student success session below. If not, think about this. Ultimately in life, there are always 3 choices. First one is guesswork. With guesswork, there's only so much that can be attained because essentially you're just guessing. You don't know whether it will lead you to the right path or not. It's a hit or miss, right? And then there's hard work. If you put in hard work, you will attain it. But if you have a proven framework, you could do that the smart way, the efficient way. So why wouldn't you want a proven framework? Now look at these 3 people. What do they have in common? Michael Jordan, Jeff Bezos, Steven Spielberg. These 3 are very successful people in their field. And what they have in common? They have a proven framework that they have developed and go through that has helped them become the successful men that they are in their field. So it shows that a proven framework helps you become successful. Now, you want to schedule your student success session, just click on the link below and I will be so thrilled and I really look forward to seeing you on the other side of the screen so that you or your child can score that high grade on the ACT or SAT math.